Right, so let's start. It's about what is communication. Why do you have to do this course? You are doing financial management. Why do you think you have to do, or to do, some others do business management or so? Why do they have to do this course? Management communication. What is communication and why is it important? I think that's the first thing we need to ask. Is there another open desk? Any open desks? The class is full there. Then let's get you just take this chair and sit next to someone else. And if you don't have a textbook, everyone, if you don't have a textbook, please check it, turn around and share with someone. The textbooks are on their way. Right, let's go. What is communication in the first place? What is communication? One person wants to say something, and the other person must hear it. And why is it important that you have good communication in the workplace? Because if I say something, say, that people will understand. If you don't understand, there will be so much trouble. You will definitely get in trouble with your boss. There will be conflict. You will not know how to do your work. You will not keep your clients happy. The business will not make money. So many things will happen. Okay, so communication is when you want to say something and somebody else must understand it. We will go through what kind of communication, all kinds of communication we have. The person who wants to say something, you can look on page 11, page 6. Page 6 in your book, there is a picture. I'm going to draw that picture now. The communication model. The person who wants to say something is called the sender. And the person who must hear the message is called the receiver. You see that picture there, page 6. He has a message that he wants to give to that person. So we put it here in the middle in a small block. The message goes from the sender to the receiver. So you have to draw these arrows also. Sorry, it's ugly. How do the sender make sure that the receiver will receive the message? How will he say it? He must say it in the right way. He must maybe decide, first thing he must decide is which language will he use, because we are different languages, but we must use one language that the other person will understand. So now, in this example, is me. I use English now. And it's called encoding. There's lots of big words. Every word you must write down and make sure that you understand it. Every word. Encoding means in what kind of a code will I put it? I can also just put it in a picture. There is the picture above the door of a man running and with an arrow to show that there is the place you go out if something big happens here. Well, there is the fire extinguisher. It's communication. It's a picture. So I encode it. I decide I will put it in which language. Will I use a picture? Will I write it? Will I text it? I can do many different things with my message to get it to the receiver. I will also use a channel. Here you will get, I made such an ugly, do this over quickly. A channel or the medium. These are the words that you will find here. And that is what I use. The channel that I use at the moment is my voice. I'm talking to you. And I encode it in English. So my message is going to the receiver now. Then something can happen to my message that the receiver don't get my message. And we call that noise. But noise is, the people are shouting a lot outside now. That was a big noise. Or maybe a police car comes down here and it goes beep, 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 and you can't hear me. So that's real noise. But noise can also be, noise is a new word. You know noise, but you must remember, noise also means bad cell phone signal, using the wrong language. Anything that can make that message don't go to that person. What more can it be? Maybe I use so many spelling mistakes in my WhatsApp that I type that you don't understand what I'm trying to say. So, or I use the wrong language, or maybe I speak but my accent is so heavy that you can't understand the English words because my accent is too much of my own language in my accent. Okay, we have encoding with the sender, but the receiver, he must take that message and decode it. So he will do decoding. And now, how will the sender know if the receiver did get his message? You must make sure, or else you just talk and you're not sure if I got the message and you go on. So it's a good thing to make sure. So something must come back from that side to this side. You see the arrows are going back this side now. What will he give you? He will give you feedback or an answer, any answer. You can also use body language. He can just nod his head. He can just go, sharp, thumbs up. Then I understand that he did get my message. And in the feedback, there can also be noise. Because maybe when he's talking back, there's a big noise outside, or cell phone signal dies, or whatever. Or he writes, it's so funny that I don't understand if it was yes or no that he said now. When he answers, the receiver becomes the sender. Because he's now the sender. And he is encoding. And it comes back to this. This person now becomes the receiver. Because he must listen now. And he will do decoding. Right. And that is the whole business. But you will see in the book, they put a big block around it. And they want to say you this whole thing happens in a situation. There's always a situation. It's not, it's not about that. You can have different situations. Maybe this morning while you were eating, your mother was talking to you. That was sender, receiver, and she was talking about what? Your plans for the afternoon and so on. So that was a situation. We call it a context. Now, while we are talking here, our communication that's going on at this moment in this classroom is another context. It is you needing to learn about communication for your workplace, and so that is the context. Okay, and preparing you for the exams. So context is also important. So if you go on page 5, you will see in the left-hand side in your handbook, textbook, there is an orange D. Every now and then on the pages. When you see that orange D, it is definition. So, definitions are important to learn for exams. Every time it will happen. And they can, if they ask you this definition for 5, 6 points, it's a lot, eh? And a definition is normally difficult to learn because it's packed with information. There's a lot of information. But this one is now really easy because you just talk through that picture. So listen to what it is in the book. Communication is a two-way process. So there you have your arrows that go in that side, that way, the arrows going this way. Two-way process within a context. You have context there. You can use all of these words. So you can just think of the picture, talk through the picture, and you might get your 5 or 6 points. Where a sender has a message and he wants to give it to the receiver, he encodes it and the receiver decodes it. You see, I'm just talking, I'm not even looking in the book. Let's see what the book says. The book says, information, a message is encoded and sent from the sender through a channel to another person, the receiver, who decodes the message and he gives feedback or a response. So if you talk through this picture, just use all of that. Give it back to me. And you can get your 5 or 6 points. So this is one of the more easier definitions. Right. Let's page back to page 3. Something more about exam papers. I'm almost starting from the beginning with exam papers because I taught this last year also and I know what they ask in the exams. And they want you to distinguish very carefully between these little things. So on page 3, 1.1, you see in your book, if you can take your pencil and you mark it, it says, why is effective communication important in the workplace? If they ask that, they want these 10 things that's under it. If you turn the page, the next page, you will see on page 4, it says, advantages of effective communication in the workplace. It's another thing. So why it is important and advantages of, it sounds really near to each other, but they want what these 6 points if they ask about advantages. And then the next page, page 5, they will ask about the elements of the communication process. Which is easy because you just write a sentence about everything on the board. So discuss 5 elements of communication. Take 5 things from the picture and write a sentence about everyone. So that's what that is. So for the exam, make sure that you know these 3 things separately. The things that's written under it. Let's open the door. Oh, a bit more noise, but let's see. It's quite hot, eh? Just the moment they decide to scream. Okay. Let's go back. Page 3. Now let's read through this first one. Why is effective communication important in the workplace? Why should your communication work out well? Number 1. There's also a new word, maybe for someone. Obtain. It means to get. Just write get. To get accurate information from other people. Number 2. To provide accurate information to other people. Or to give. So it's 2 ways. To get and to give. 3. To provide a more efficient service to your clients. Very important. Your clients must be happy. Number 4, to negotiate deals. That's also very important to know. Say I want to buy something from him. I want to buy a book from him. Or no, a phone. I want to buy a phone from him. A book is too simple. I want more for my example. You tell me you want so much money for it. I say I want the phone must be able to do this and this and this. So he's talking, I'm talking, back and forth. He wants so much. I said, no, I want this in a phone. Now, if I can't get all of that, I want you to ask a little less. So in the end, we talk back and forth until we are both happy. That I get as much of what I want as I could, and he can also be happy with the price. So it's up and down, back and forth, until we are both happy, and I say, okay, I will buy the phone, or no, thank you, I'll look elsewhere. So this whole communication process was going up and down, until we decide. So it's important to use correct communication for that. Number 5, to tackle problems logically in order to solve them. Now, that is also a big thing. If there's a big problem, sometimes a problem can be so complicated and so big, and you don't know where to start to solve this problem. So you must make it logical, or we will use the word reasoning also later on. Get the word reasoning, you can write it there. The way you unpack this problem. So make it simple. No, it is this, and that is a separate thing, and then that, and so. And let's start from the beginning and see if we can figure out this problem. Because sometimes it's so complicated, and everyone is talking together, and you don't ever come to a conclusion. So it helps a lot if we tackle your problem logically. Number 6, prevent and handle conflict situations. To make sure that people don't fight in the workplace. Conflict is when people are not happy with each other or even fight verbally. I hope it doesn't come to real fighting, physical fighting. So prevent it by doing good communication, or handle it by saying things the right way. When you see, things are heating up here, use the right techniques, right? Talk nicely, keep calm, try to figure it out logically, and so the conflict can be dissolved. Number 7, ensure effective teamwork through effective group discussions. That we will also get in meetings. How do you conduct a meeting in the workplace? It must be effective. Number 8, conduct successful meetings. Yeah, there's the meetings again. But 9, reduce queries, complaints, and the possibility of legal action. If I advertise something and I put it up there. Okay, let's see this. Emergency numbers, it's up there. But if I don't put it correctly, or I leave out some, or whatever, I make it not understandable, there will be so many people coming to ask me, wasting my time, calling the business. 100 people are now calling in because they don't understand my advertisement properly. First, I must write that advertisement properly so that they will understand. And reduce complaints. People don't come and moan. And it can even go to court. People might take you to court and have legal action against you. So that's how important communication is in the workplace. And number 10, to have a good public image for the business, so that the clients will come and the business will make money. That is the first reason why a person starts a business. He wants to make money. We all have to live, so he starts a business. He wants to do this type of thing. Page 4. Now we go to the advantages. You'll see how they are kind of the same, but they are different. So make sure you learn them just as they are here. Advantages of effective communication in the workplace will be, number 1, sound or good. Their sound is also a funny word. Just use good interpersonal relations with work colleagues and clients will be established if you have good communication. Number 2, people will have positive attitudes towards the work and the workplace. Number 3, the staff feel motivated to do their best. If you are happy and you like your work, you will go the extra mile. You will do it properly. Maybe even stay after work because you really like to do your work. Because you are motivated. Number 4, productivity will increase then because people work hard. Number 5, clients are satisfied and return to do more business, and they will even tell their friends, this is a nice business, they do this and this, and you understand what's going on, and they will bring their friends. Number 6, and the business achieves its financial goals to make money. That's the goal of the business, and the social goals that they also want to reach. So those are the 2 different questions, page 3 and page 4, that they might ask in the exams. Page 5. Now we go to the elements of the communication process. As I said, you just go to that picture on the board and you talk through it. You can use one of them and write a sentence about it. If I take another one, write a sentence about it. And always see how many points they want. So if the sender, you can, if it's for only 1 point, you can say the person who wishes to communicate a message. But if it's for 3 points, you can go further and say, okay, they will encode the message. And that's the second one he also does. And what can you more say? And he sends it to receiver. And then you can say he must make sure that he gets feedback or anything else. Then you can have to 3 points. 2, about the message, you can just say it is what the sender wishes to say or ask or instruct. Please go and do this for me. That's the instruction. To comment, to reply. Then you can say something about the medium or the channel. It is how the message is sent. How it is sent is the channel. It can be direct or indirect, oral or written or non-verbal. Okay, we will go through all of those words. There are all a lot of new words. The receiver, the person to whom the message is sent, he must decode the message and react to it. There's 3 points. The person to whom the message is sent, he must decode it, he must react to it. 3 points about the receiver. You can write. Encoding and decoding, to put the message into a code. That is, I decide now I will put this message in Xhosa, or I will use very big English, or I will use simple English, or I will use only my hand to show something, a gesture, body language, and that goes to the receiver who decodes it. So that is what encoding is. She then becomes a sender, a source, who would then, that one answers back, he becomes the sender who encodes again and sends it back to this one, who becomes the receiver now, who decodes the message. So you can just go on and on. For effective communication to take place, the sender must decode it in a way that the receiver will understand. That is important. And that the way that he will accept also. We will see later when it comes to emotional barriers, that noise, when it is emotional or differences in personalities or so. You must say something in a way that that person will accept it as well. Then about feedback, you can write feedback is what is the result of your communication. What comes back? It is the message the receiver sends back in reply to the sender. You will only know whether the receiver has understood your message when you get the feedback that you require. Unless you have the feedback, effective communication has not taken place. The message may have been misunderstood and you need to resend it. So if you see from your feedback that the person did not understand it, you must try again. Say it in another way. And then the next page, there's one lost little one at the top of the page, page 6, noise. Noise is also known as interference or barriers. There's more new words. Noise can be interference. What interferes with my message? And a barrier to communication, what is a barrier? If I put up a barrier between me and you, you cannot see me. If I put a big wall, it's a barrier. Okay, you cannot get to me. So it's a barrier to communication. That's also what noise is. Just another word for noise. Noise are the factors within the context. This is the context in this class now. What are the factors that make that you can't understand me? Noise, and I hope people are still awake, or else if they are becoming droopy eyelids, and I say, I must, hey, do something that you wake up. Just joking. It's a bit early in the day for being sleepy, but yeah, sometimes I see, that person is not really catching anymore, so I must do something that he wakes up. All right. That's also noise. That is a physical barrier. He is feeling sleepy. He's tired. He cannot listen anymore. Right, and there you have your picture on page 6. The communication model. If they say the communication model, then you draw that thing. Let's see. Will we do There are some activities that we can do. Let's do on page 7. Let's do okay. Let's do number 1. That's the easiest one. Maria sends an SMS to her friend Rebecca, asking her to meet her after college. Rebecca replies with a smiley emoji or emoticon, is with the word for a smiley. So this one sends an SMS, meet me after college, and Rebecca replies with a smiley. Now the questions are here on page 6 at the bottom. The name or the description of the sender. Who is the sender? Maria. The name of the receiver? Rebecca. The description is her friend. What the message is? Meet me after college. Which medium or channel is used? An SMS. What the feedback is? Smiley. She just got a smiley. What was the noise distorting the communication? Was there noise? No, there was no noise. In their context, they know where they always meet. She doesn't even have to say, meet me after college. She will know where it is. And the smiley is enough. She gets it back. Nowadays an SMS is so expensive. You'd rather, I don't know, switch your data off and on and off and quickly get a WhatsApp through than go and pay. What's more, a rand or more than a rand? What's an SMS now? R1.50. No. Data off and on quickly. Yeah. Let's go to number 3. After a visiting speaker has completed her speech, John asks a question that doesn't make sense because he has clearly not been listening. She asks him to repeat the question. So we have a visiting speaker here. She's completed her speech, but John was not listening. And then after that, he decided to stand up and ask a question, but it was so... Nobody knew what he was on about. So, what was the noise? He wasn't listening. And also, and then she asks him to repeat his question. So she goes back to repeating the question. Question 5. A mother phones her daughter to give her advice on how to get over a breakup with her boyfriend. The daughter is so upset that she doesn't wish to talk and puts down the phone. What happened here? Sorry? The question. Let me read the question again. A mother phones her daughter to give her advice on how to get over a breakup with her boyfriend. The daughter is so upset that she doesn't wish to talk and puts down the phone. What did the mother do wrong? Did she do something wrong because the daughter didn't want to listen to her? Well, the first is the emotional state that the girl is in. She is emotional. She just wants to be on her own and think through things and maybe cry. So she can't talk on the phone right now. So she called on the wrong time. But also this mother, instead of listening to the problem first, she just jumps in and starts giving advice. No, man, forget this boy. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Walla, walla. That's not what she wants to hear now. She wants to hear, yes, I understand your heart is broken now. And rather ask her what's wrong and how did it go wrong and what is making her so upset. The way he said it. The fact that he only broke up with me by WhatsApp. Or whatever is making her so upset. So the mother must first listen. We'll get to that a little later on the personality problems and emotional things. This whole thick red book is about noise, barriers to communication. What can make that we don't hear the message in different ways? It will be lots of different things that it will be about. Right. Let's go to intrapersonal communication and interpersonal communication. That is something we also, a new word that we must learn. This sender-receiver model that we drew, it's between this person and that person. It's two people. That one is a person. Let me draw a little man here. And that one is a person receiving the message. One sending, one receiving. It's between two people. Look here, she added my previous, the previous lecturer also the same subject. So this one, interpersonal. And intrapersonal will be me talking to myself. I talk to myself a lot. When I'm going, where's this thing? I must remember to. So, just talking. That's just the way I think. It makes it easier for myself, or else I forget, or whatever. That's just the way you. So, you can talk to yourself real loud, or you can think. That is all the intrapersonal things. How do you talk to yourself? Sorry?
Is it normal?
Is it normal to talk to yourself?
Loud.
Yeah, man. Good conversation that you have. Intelligent conversation. If you talk to yourself, you think it's, What does that mean? Head is the head is not right. Okay. Well. I think many times if you are an extroverted person, you are talking a lot, like making lots of friends, smiling, laughing a lot, and talking a lot. So it's maybe that type of thing. But okay, you can talk out loud or you can think. Mostly it's thinking what you are doing. You are thinking about what I will do this afternoon, thinking about whatever for the future, all my plans for the future, and you can be thinking about things that you did yesterday. Maybe why was I so horrible to my mother, as it said in the book. Thinking about, yes, I'm so sorry I didn't do my homework yesterday. Now I have trouble. It's things that you are thinking in your head. You are making judgments. While I'm talking to you, I'm also thinking, I like the way you do your hair. I'd like also, remember to ask her later. But let's finish this subject first. Maybe I can also go and do my hair there or whatever. Or I can think negative things like, I wish she would do something about the clothes that she wears. She just doesn't have any sense of fashion. While I'm talking to you about something, I'm thinking something else. So it's normal, that's what happens. And the other thing is daydreaming. How wonderful would my life be if I just had R1 million or whatever, right? It's daydreaming. So, we must learn the difference between intrapersonal. Interpersonal is the first one. It is like this. Inter. Okay. Interpersonal. Between people. Intrapersonal, just inside myself. Not just me talking to myself. And extrapersonal is when we talk to a lifeless thing. Not a lifeless object. She's not 100% right here. Let me write it off. Something that does not have a brain like a person. But because, yes, when I hit my foot against the table, I maybe talk to the table. Hey, what are you doing here? Out of my way or whatever. I don't know what we would say. I talk to my computer a lot if it is slow, or my phone. Hey, nah, man. No. You talk to something else, but it doesn't have a brain like you have. You can also talk to a cat or a dog. If you stroke the cat, yeah, nice kitty, it will understand the emotion, but it doesn't understand your words. You can also talk to a plant. Some people come to say, oh, but you are making beautiful flowers. Some people do that. Some people always also think that's not normal. Some people play music for their plants. Hope they will grow very nice if I play classical music, and maybe if I play very angry grunge music, what music, then the plant will die. I don't know. Some people say things like that. Not normal. He says that's not normal. That's not normal. Okay, so that is what extra-personal communication is. Talking to a lifeless thing, a dead thing like a table or something. Talking to like an animal or a plant. That has life in it, but that doesn't have a brain like a person has. That's extra-personal communication. Out of a person. Extra means out. Intra means between. Inter. Inter means between. I always say we have the internet. If you have a business here and a business there, or a country here and a country there, today the internet is over the whole world. It is inter, it is between. And then you get the intranet. There is something like an intranet that you can get. When you have a business and they have a table there and a table there with a computer there and a computer there, and it's just between things in this business, inside this business. That is the intranet. And extra means out of people. That's not. It's not people. Seems like my necklace is breaking. Everything is falling apart. It's very old. I have it for years. Okay. Now, the other one that we are going to get to is mass communication. In chapter 5, there will be a big chapter about mass communication. On page 11, we just have a quick overview. So let's just look at mass communication, because it's chapter 1. They just show a little of something. But later, chapter 5, we will really go into, I think it's chapter 5, mass communication. In mass communication, take another color pen. The receiver will be a lot of people, lot of individuals. So the picture will change, but for the rest of the book, we are going with this old picture. In mass communication, it's if you want to say something to the masses, to lots of people, just put it on the radio or the internet or, sorry? WhatsApp groups, I think they are becoming so big now that you don't know everyone on it. So I'm not so sure exactly. I think really big WhatsApp groups where I don't know everyone can become. I think Telegram groups are more, because Telegram groups can become really big. Yeah, so let's leave the groups for now. But billboards. If you drive along the road and you see a big board that says KFC, and they have, the food looks so beautiful, you just get hungry immediately. Big advertisements, that is mass communication. Advertisements on the radio or television, or nowadays really, mostly we watch YouTube and TikTok and so on, Instagram, eh? That's where we get our advertisements also. Normal television like DSTV and SABC 1 or 2, I don't know how many of you watch it anymore. I don't. I only watch YouTube and things. Internet things, because you don't have that as well. So that is mass communication. Mass communication is kind of changing now, because we don't really listen. How many of you still listen to the radio? Hey, me too. If I don't have an old radio that can still get on a channel, I don't have a radio that works. Sometimes in my car. Now I listen in my car. That one still works. And normally we just play our own music that we want to play, and watch YouTube and TikTok and so on. Social media taking over now from all types of mass communication, but we are still going to learn about it because it is still there. It's still happening. Right. I'm not going to have to do. Yeah, let's go page 12. What can be a problem in mass communication? That you get noise and you don't get the message. Let's think big now. The big things. The radio, the TV, the internet. What can be wrong that you don't get the message? Can't hear. Well, what about load shedding? Power is off, TV is off. We don't get the news, we don't see it. Also, sometimes they show, because all of this is about technology. And technology can get them a problem in some way. Bad signal or whatever. The fact that the person who sends the message don't know me personally, he can't make his message in such a way that he can't encode it in such a way that I will understand. Maybe it's the wrong language, maybe it's speaking too fast, maybe it's what? What can he still do? He can maybe make me angry. Then I don't want to listen to him or something. Because he doesn't know me. There's examples. Page 12. The news broadcast shows graphic details of dead bodies after a bomb blast. This is so upsetting that the person watching switches off the TV. So I don't want to see dead bodies. Don't show me that. Don't show me ugly wounds and I don't want to see those things. So it makes me emotionally kind of upset. And I switch off the TV so I don't see the rest of the news. Or there's another example about a magazine. Someone is starting a magazine now. And it's aimed at the teenage market. It's for teenage girls. But there's no fashion in it. It's boring. It's no color in it. It's not cool. It's big English words. No teenager will buy it. So the magazine is not going to be a success because of the communication, the encoding is wrong. And then something about feedback in mass communication. Do you think you ever get feedback? If someone puts a message on the radio, how many people call in and say, oh yes, I heard it and I understood it, or I want to buy that thing, or please tell me at what time is the concert, how much is the tickets, any question that they still have. They don't even. In some stations they do. Yeah, but they broadcast this thing. Say, for instance, 1,000 people hear it. How many people will answer? 1, 2, 3, or 20 maybe. 20 is a lot. If 20 are... you have 20 answers. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But it's very, very slow. You don't get your feedback immediately. And maybe you never get any feedback. So maybe 1 or 2 guys will answer. So that is how it is with mass communication. Also from posters, billboards, the television, or anything. Maybe you don't ever get any feedback. Right. So to make mass communication effective, the sender must have an idea who his target will be. I want to talk to kiddies of this size. And I must put little music and talk real nice and lively and want to talk about things they like. That is my audience. I must encode my message in that way. Decide who you are talking to. Number 2, the message must be simple and clear and must be put together in such a way that the probable receiver will like it or will be interested in it. It will appeal to him. Number 3, the most appropriate medium or channel should be used for a radio is a good one for having news on the hour, every hour. I always use this example. When a man works in his garage and he is using an electric saw and then he's welding and then he's doing, like my husband does, he is working with all power tools, and then after a while, and then for such a person, it's nice to have an old dusty radio standing there in the garage and playing just for him to have something to listen to. It's music, it's nice. But every hour, there's the news. He stops making a noise and he's just doing quiet jobs so that he can listen to the news and then goes on with his work. But you can't put a television in your garage when you are working with power tools, because you will keep on watching the video and get your hands in this thing or whatever, saw off your hand. So that's the typical thing that people will have, a radio in the garage while you are working. Also with me when I'm doing sewing also. I like to have it at the television, but then I start to watch all the time and don't work. So rather have a radio, you can listen to something. Nowadays you can listen to podcasts. Podcasts is also a new way of mass communication. It's like radio programs, but you decide what you want to listen and when you want to listen to it. I think that's how mass communication is changing, because the radio and the old types of television, you must watch what they now, or you must listen what they broadcast now. But we people, we are becoming used to being able to choose. I want to watch that YouTube video again. I want to watch it now. I don't want to watch it only when they decide what I watch and when I watch. So you click on what you want and you can repeat and you can pause and go out and come back and watch further. All these things now, advantages we have now in modern development, that mass communication is changing a lot. And social media is taking over. The difference between old media and social media is that now in social media it's easy to post your own things, easy to make a comment, and you have a group of friends. But the old media is like the news. I can just click on BBC News and I check the news, but I can't add something there. In social media you can post your own message if you want to, easily. But before social media, you had to have a lot of money to ask people to make a website and put it on a website for you. Now it's like your own website. Everybody has a voice. You can just put it on and you can comment and you can have your group of friends. So that is social media. I think the next one was extra personal, and we stopped there. We did already extra personal. So let's stop there for today, page 13.